Congratulations, your search for buyers abroad is over through the help of the Eureka Pack. The Eureka Pack helps you do 7 things in order to get buyers abroad. It shows you how to 1. Get prepared to get buyers abroad. 2. Get the online tools to deploy to get buyers abroad. 3. Get list of markets with demands for your products. 4. Get the list of importers in that market. 5. Get the contacts of importers in that market. 6. Get the export contracts from the contact details of the importers. 7. Get favorable export contract terms. The Eureka Pack shows you how to enter the billion-dollar markets available for your products across the world at a very discounted rate of 60,000 naira. The valuable materials that you get upon purchase include 2 manuals and 27 videos explaining and demonstrating how to use the manuals to find buyers abroad. We know you are elated already and interested in ordering for the Eureka Pack right away. Place your order via a WhatsApp chat to 0809 999 3142 or email to info@3timpex.com. You can get this pack for just 60,000 naira. Grab your copy now.
I am looking for information on how to export chin-chin and plantain chips.
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
I need information on how to process and package smoked fish for export.
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
Okay, how about information on the quality requirements of palm oil for export?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
All right. What of information on how to do my pricing and costing for honey and tea export?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
What if I want information on how to find buyers abroad for poundo yam?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
The Processed Foods Export Atlas is the most important book you will ever read for successful export business. It is a one-stop shop for all the information required to export 30 processed foods. To place your order at 40,000 Naira call or chat 080912 345 673. Processed Foods Export Atlas, your ultimate guide to successfully export 30 processed foods.
At 3T Impex, we believe every aspiring exporter deserves a clear pathway to international success.
That's why we created the Export Mentoring Program, from Export Novice to Export Legend.
This is a 6-month hands-on mentoring program designed to take you from beginner to global exporter.
Every participant is guaranteed direct contact with 5 active international buyers.
You receive step-by-step handholding, from product selection and branding to documentation, logistics, and payments.
Most of our participants begin their first export transaction within 3 to 6 months.
And when you complete the program, you continue to enjoy free advisory services.
The program cost 1,200,000 naira
and runs virtually with participants from Nigeria and around the world. If you're ready to move from Export Novice to Export Legend, this program is for you.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining today. Last week, we started the new series, apart from our usual Thursday program. But this is a weekly session and is hosted every Tuesday. And this is made available free on our YouTube channel. And this is Finding Buyers. Today, we are looking at cocoa. If you look at the screen, you see about 105 products we are targeting to discuss in the next 2 years. And we take each of these products every week. And we are starting today with a very important product that Nigeria currently exports. And that is cocoa beans. A very important product that Nigeria currently exports, and that is cocoa beans. Cocoa beans is a very important product with a lot of demand, even though the price went up the roof at some point last year or 2 years ago to last year. But the prices are coming down now. This video is available on our YouTube channel, Voice of African Trade. Like, share, drop your comment. You can also get it on the link to the program on our African Export Business platform on Telegram. So in this program, we have a preamble where we talk about the summary of the product, which some of us are familiar with. Then we talk about the people. Who are the consumers that use this product? Why do they use it? What do they use it for? We look at the purchasers, the exploration of different available options to get lists of buyers. We're going to look at the protocol to finding buyer, the principle and guideline to follow in looking for buyers, and then the potential exploration of various markets abroad with largest demand, and then the promotion, demonstrating how to use recommended platform for promotion, partitioning. By partition, I mean barriers, and that has to do with identifying market entry barriers and how to overcome them, and then the pitfall, major reason that hinder many businesses from getting buyer abroad. So this will be our guiding compass or guiding outline every week or subtopic every week as we dissect this product. Today we are looking at cocoa, and next week we'll be looking at cashew. So let's start. Remember, in the course of this, if you have questions, please drop it in the chat. I will entertain them in the course of the session or probably at the end as I might deem it fit. Let's go through the step-by-step export process again. It starts with preparation. Our focus in this conversation is promotion to get purchase order. Because it is after the get purchase order, then we can talk about procurement or production, then packaging and labeling, then pre-export documentation, then port clearance and inspection at the origin country, then post-export documentation, then port-to-port shipment, then presentation of document, port clearance and inspection, and of course, payment at destination. So our focus is actually on number 2 to achieve number 3, and that is getting buyers. Cocoa beans is our focus. Cocoa beans are dried and fermented seed of Tribuma cacao, and it's mainly from West Africa. The beans are primarily raw material for cocoa products such as chocolate, cocoa butter, cocoa powder. Cocoa beans grow inside pod. Each pod typically contains about 30 to 50 beans. Harvesting involves cutting ripe pod, removing the beans, fermenting them for several days to develop flavor, and drying them to preserve quality. The combination of tropical climate, fertilized soil, and post-harvest handling determine ultimate flavor profile and market value of the cocoa. Cocoa beans have distinct physical and chemical properties. Chemically, cocoa beans contain cocoa butter 40-55% and various aromatic compounds responsible for unique flavor. Organically, the beans should exhibit a pleasant chocolate aroma, clean taste, uniform appearance when cut and tested. Specification: moisture content should be between 6.5 to 7.5, maximum of 8%. Beans count 80 to 100 beans per gram. Fermentation percentage: good quality beans should fully be fermented with minimal slaty or purple beans, free from defect. No debris, less than 1-2%. Breakage, no more than 3%. Flavor: clean, characteristic chocolate aroma, and beans should be of consistent size and color. Of course, the usage of cocoa beans is a lot across multiple industries. The primary use is in chocolate manufacturing, where beans is roasted, ground, and processed into liquor, cocoa butter, and cocoa powder. Cocoa butter is widely used in confectionaries, bakery, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, due to its smooth texture and, of course, stability. Cocoa butter is used in beverages, baking, dairy products, flavoring application. The pharmaceutical industry uses cocoa derivative in tonic, supplement, therapeutic compound, and in cosmetic industry, cocoa butter is used for lotion, cream, soap, and skin care products. Now, this is just an introduction, reminding ourselves what cocoa is all about. Let's go into the main discussion. Who are the people that buy cocoa? Who are the people? Because in getting buyer, you need to know who are the people you are targeting. Particularly if you now have to do an ad online, this becomes very important. Who are the people that use this product and what they use it for? Consumers of cocoa beans. The primary consumer of cocoa beans are companies, not individuals. So if you're exporting cocoa beans, you'll be targeting companies most of the time because it's a raw material for many other applications. Cocoa beans are raw material, raw industrial commodity that require complex processing, roasting, grinding, pressing, alkalizing, before they become usable ingredients. So who are those bye-bye? Chocolate manufacturers, large multinational companies like Barry, Cargill, Nestle, Mars, chocolate processing companies, firms that convert raw beans into cocoa liquor, cocoa cake, cocoa powder, beverages and food manufacturers, producer of cocoa drink, biscuit, pastries, cereals, dessert, cosmetic and pharmaceutical company, user of cocoa butter for cream, lotion, soap, and medical formulation. This is important. Remember, if you are going to sell, you will be selling to one of these people. If you are going to sell this product, you'll be selling to one of these people. Specialty and beans to bar chocolate maker, small craft chocolate manufacturer, commodity traders. Apart from those that use it, there are people also are middlemen who buy and then resell to other manufacturers. Why do they buy? They buy because of flavor and aroma development. Cocoa beans provide unique chocolate flavor. They buy because of the fat content. Cocoa butter extracted from the bean is essential. They buy because of the nutritional value, because of polyphenol, antioxidant material, and alkaloid that is found in cocoa. They buy because of industrial versatility, particularly using the powder or butter or liquor. And these are used in dozens of industries, including confectionaries, bakeries, pharmaceuticals, and cosmetics. Market demand. Global consumption of chocolate continues to grow, driving steady demand for cocoa beans. In essence, companies use cocoa beans because they are an irreplaceable ingredient in several billion-dollar global industry. What do they use it for? Chocolate product, bars, candies, coatings. What do they use it for? Cocoa powder, used in beverages, bakery filling, cereal cake, ice cream, cocoa powder, cocoa butter also heavily used in chocolate production, pharmaceutical, skincare product, cocoa liquor paste used as ingredient in manufacturing, industrial food mixes, beverage powder, instant milk, and then pharmaceutical tonic. These uses ensure continuous demand. These uses ensure continuous demand. These uses ensure continuous demand. When do they buy this product? Peak season in West Africa, major crop run from October to March, and the light crop from April to June. Year-round purchase, large chocolate manufacturer and processor buy continuously to maintain production using futures contract to lock in supply. Seasonal demand spike before festive periods such as Christmas, Valentine, New Year. Manufacturers buy additional cocoa to meet increased chocolate production. Overall, cocoa beans purchasing is both seasonal and continuous depending on the type of buyers. Now, how then do we reach these purchasers? How do we reach the purchasers? Who are the purchasers again? Who are the purchasers again? Cocoa beans are primarily purchased by companies and industrial users, not individuals. The global value chain is dominated by large multinational processors. The major purchasers include cocoa processing companies, the firm that buy the beans and convert cocoa liquor, cake, and butter, chocolate manufacturer, producer of bars, candies, coatings, confectionaries, food and beverage manufacturers, companies that require cocoa beans or cocoa butter for beverages, cosmetic and pharmaceutical company, manufacturer of lotion, cream, soap. These are all buyers, and of course, government agency and bulk buyer. But more importantly are the commodity trader, those that you can call the middlemen. The commodity trader, those that you can call the middlemen. Segment 1, industrial processor. So you can group them into 5 categories. Industrial processor, these are large volume buyers. They are responsible for converting beans into semi-finished products. They require consistent quality, traceability, large volume, and certification. Then we have the mass market chocolate manufacturers. Companies in this segment use both processed cocoa and raw beans for direct chocolate production. They demand long-term contracts, strict compliance, and of course, timely delivery. Food, beverage, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical companies, segment 3. These are secondary manufacturers who use cocoa powder or liquor, Some of them purchase beans directly to mill in house. Some of them purchase beans directly to mill in house. Specialty and beans to bar chocolate maker. This group use flavor profile, single origin beans, use fermentation techniques and ethical sourcing. They purchase smaller volume but pay premium price. And then the traders. Like I said, these are the people you will find most of the time. These are buyers. They act as intermediaries between exporter and processor. They provide market access. The reason why a number of manufacturers prefer them is because they can get the volume they are looking for. Because a trader can be dealing with people in different markets. He can be buying from someone who is in Nigeria. He can also be buying from someone who is in Ghana. He can be buying from someone who is in Cameroon or Cote d'Ivoire. So he can buy. But as far as the manufacturer is concerned, he's dealing with one person. As far as the manufacturer is concerned, he's dealing with one person. So a number of manufacturers want to deal with this kind of people because it reduces the stress on them having to deal with different suppliers around the world. So you mind, the only challenge is that even though they buy more and they buy in large volume, because they are middlemen, of course, they have their own markup. And that will typically thin out the profitability. That will typically thin out the profitability. Reaching industrial cocoa processor. Now, how do you reach them? These buyers can be reached through direct contact with regional offices or supplier onboarding portal. Attending global trade fair like Gulf Food, Anuga, Cial, Choka, and World Cocoa Conference. Using, of course, Promotion Council, NEPC, ITC can also be an avenue. Leverage commodity trading platform and, of course, future brokers. How about the mass market? Remember, I've segmented them into different segments. You decide on which of the market you are looking at. And this market can be reached through different channels. Best channels include corporate suppliers, registration portal, participation in B2B exhibition focused on confectionaries, reaching procurement manager through LinkedIn, email marketing, and industrial directory. Working with logistic partner who already supplied these company also can help. Reaching food and beverage, pharmaceutical, and cosmetics. Listing on B2B platforms like Alibaba, Trade Key, Go for Work Business. Cold email campaign targeted at purchasing department. When you are sending a cold email, it's important you attach a full corporate offer. And don't send an email from a Gmail or Yahoo. It should be your name at your domainname.com or info at your domainname.com. Cocoa is a big and serious business. Sending a mail from Yahoo does not speak well of you as a supplier who has capacity to deliver. Don't let them cast aspersion on your capacity to deliver because you are using Yahoo. Because you are using Yahoo or Gmail. So a mail to, and quite frankly, you can do a lot on LinkedIn. Because let's say, for example, you have identified the buyer by virtue of maybe checking online. Let me see if I can show you. Let me show you something. Last week, for those that joined last week, I tried to show you something on what's the name? On Trademark, but it didn't work out. So I already opened it down today so that I'll be able to show you. I already opened it down today, so I'll be able to show you something I would like to show you on Trademark. Because sometimes you might also be able to find some companies on Trademark. I'm trying to see if I will be able to open that before I display so it doesn't delay me like it happened last week. Sorry, 1 minute. So the issue is you might be able to get some companies because trademark actually lists buyers. Now, when you get those companies, sometimes if you now want to reach those companies, right? If you want to reach those companies, you might use LinkedIn because they are procurement manager on LinkedIn. So let me show you an example now. So I'll be going on trademark. Confirm when you can see my screen. I'm on trademark. Can you see my screen? I can see it on my monitor here. Okay, thank you. Trademark.org. So cocoa beans, cocoa. Remember, this is a free website, but you need to register. It's a UN website, so it's not paid, but you need to register. Cocoa beans. So if you click on this, then we click on import, the importer I'm looking for, then product here, not service, import product, not export, not service, then yearly time series. Now, when you bring this up, this is showing us 2024, 2025 data is not out. 2024 global demand for cocoa is 20 billion. Who are the major buyer of cocoa? Netherlands, Malaysia, Germany, Belgium, United States, Indonesia, France. These are the top importer of cocoa in the world. Now, can you see this thing? Can you see companies? If you click on this, it will give you some companies. But in reaching this company, number one, sometimes I recommend you reach them with number one, I've talked about reaching them with a mail that is your domain. But another thing is, if you can reach them from outside Nigeria, that will increase your chance. Rather, because you know the stereotype about Yahoo, Yahoo, and the like. So now, he said chocolate, cocoa beans processed, cocoa beans roasted. Cocoa beans roasted. These the people that buy cocoa beans, roasted cocoa beans, or whole or broken raw cocoa beans. If you click on this, it will bring you some buyers. And now, if you get those buyers, now look at this buyer now. These are different buyers. You can see some in Canada, Uruguay. These are mainly Canada. Can you imagine? Mainly Canada buyers. Now, this company sometimes to be able to get the contact, reach their procurement manager, that is where LinkedIn coming. That is where LinkedIn coming. LinkedIn might be able to help you reach the procurement manager because it's on LinkedIn. And that might mean you search for that company on LinkedIn and then look for their procurement manager. I'm just talking about the fact that, but in sending message to them, like I said, you need to send a message to them. Preferably if you can use an email, if you can send a mail with an email signature that shows that the person sent that mail is not in Nigeria, that would be great. And if you live abroad and live in Nigeria and you have foreign line, maybe that would be better. So you use your address abroad as the email signature. The idea is just to ensure you get a reply because sometimes there might, particularly European and American, there's just this stereotype because of course, the bad PR. You know, sometimes when you are on X and you are tweeting and tweeting and tweeting, and you see a bad news and you tweet, and you allow it to trend, what we don't know is that we are doing bad PR for ourselves. If you are into international trade or you have met buyers that tell you the implication of those tweeting, because sometimes some of the things our people do and that's trending, it's not just Nigeria that is doing it. Only that there's so much negativity about our country sometimes because of what the politicians are doing and of course some people are doing and you tweet, you're just publicizing our negativity. We are the only one that have negativity, by the way. People will tell you that majority of the what's the name cybercrime, we are not even as good as some countries in Europe and Asia in terms of volume of cybercrime, but we publicize our own a lot. In fact, AFCC will tell you nowadays they've been arresting a lot of foreigners in Nigeria who come to Nigeria to do Yahoo and cybercrime. I'm just saying basically that you need to be a bit cautious in tweeting bad news about Nigeria because you are communicating to outside world bad news about us, and quite frankly, it's affecting us. It's affecting us. Cold email campaign targeted at purchasing department, contracting regional distributors who supply this company, engaging in niche expo such as food ingredients, in cosmetic global, health and wellness fairs, reaching traders, wholesaler, and broker. Channel to use commodity broker platform, International Cocoa Association and Chamber of Commerce, networking through trade mission, export seminars, commodity conferences, shipping agent, and freight forwarder who know active buyers. Then specialty and bean-to-bag chocolate maker. Method include targeting artisan chocolate network via platform like Cocoa Runner, Chocolate Life, Direct Trade Cocoa Forum, using specialty cocoa forums such as directcocoa.org, social media marketing, and of course, sending sample batches with flavor, note, and fermentation detail. So how do you get list of buyers for cocoa? You can use B2B platforms. You can use B2B platforms. B2B platform is a fantastic platform to get list of buyers. Platform like Alibaba, Import Hub, Export Hub, Global Source, Go for What Business. Option 2, trade fair and exhibition. To get list of buyers, trade fair and exhibition. Events such as Chokau in Amsterdam, Sale, Anuga Golf Food, World Confectionery Conference, a different avenue to be able to get contact of buyers and list of buyers. Chamber of Commerce. NEPC also can help, although they don't do it regularly, but I understand they subscribe on some of the platform and they help some exporters. ITC Trade Map, I just show you ITC Trade Map where you can get lists of buyers. Just show you ITC Map. ICCO directly. This organization maintains lists of certified importers and processors. You can decide to buy databases. I like using this databases because you can subscribe and you can get people importing this product regularly. Import Genius, Panjiva, Trade Atlas. They provide shipment record showing who import globally. Someone said Gulf Food is taking place in Dubai next week. Very correct. It's every next week? That should be in January. I thought it's usually February. I've not checked. Oh, fantastic. So, direct outreach through LinkedIn, using LinkedIn Navigator to find procurement manager, sourcing directors, quality managers, supply chain officers in cocoa-related industries. For some countries, the embassies and trade mission are good way. Good evening. Please, which platform does foreigner go to check active exporter in Nigeria? I'm not aware of such platform. I'm not aware. I think NEP is supposed to maintain that kind of list of active exporter in Nigeria, but they don't. I'm not aware of any platform you go to get active for people to check active exporter. A lot of people will go and subscribe in that kind of platform, but I'm not aware. I'm not aware of such. I don't know if there is. It's not impossible there are, but not so popular. Local agents in destination. Commission agents in Europe, Asia, America maintain active buyers list. And if you need, we also can help you with export market intelligence. If you need list of buyers of this product in different markets, we can also assist. And that's the price you can see on the screen. We can also assist for different markets around the world. Now, what are the protocols to follow? What are the protocols to follow? And I will repeat this every week. And the reason is because of its importance. Number one, you need to ask important questions. Ask important questions. How do you choose the market? Check the prohibition list, the market you want to ship to, And I will show you the different market very soon. Like I've shown you already on the trade map, but I'll show you in detail very soon. Is it prohibited in that country? Potential market, potential of the market, purchaser, personnel, paperwork, pricing, packaging and labeling, and political economy. Prohibition list. This involving before you choose a market. Check, is this product prohibited in that market? Number 2, potential market. This involves checking to ensure that the selected export market has demand for this product. The selected export market has a demand for this product. Number 3, the purchaser. This involves checking to ensure the selected market has different options of distribution for the selected product. Personnel. This involves checking to ensure that exporter get an overseas sales representative in the selected market. That gives a lot of edge and advantage. Paperwork. This involves checking to ensure that the exporter can get necessary documentation required to sell the selected product in the export market. Pricing. This involves checking to ensure that the pricing of the selected product for the export is competitive in the chosen export market. Labeling. This involves checking to ensure that the packaging and labeling of selected product is suitable for the chosen export market. And then political economy. This involves checking to ensure that the selected product is free from political economy and economic risk of the target market. Now, what do you need to know about the product? You know, some people don't know their product. They don't know their product. They don't know their product. And we've been emphasizing this because if you don't know what you are exporting, you are already preparing ground for loss in that business. If you don't know what you are exporting, you're already preparing ground for loss in that business. What to know about the export product? What is the purpose of the product? What are the parameters of the product? What's the potential demand for the product? Who are the purchasers of the product? How do you package the product for the export market? What are the paperwork required to export the product? How do you calculate and arrive at the pricing for the product? And what are the pitfalls to avoid in exporting the product? Ladies and gentlemen, you must know your product. If you don't know your product, you might get a buyer but mess up the transaction. You might get a buyer but mess up the transaction. So for example, we can use cocoa for example. So if you take cocoa as an example in this context, what is the purpose? I've talked to you about the purpose of cocoa. In terms of what do they use it for? We've talked about that already. It has numerous uses. From cosmetics to pharmaceuticals. What are the parameters? Parameter has to do with quality specification. Quality specification. What is the moisture content? Beans count. Moldy beans. Slaty beans. Insect damage beans. Fermentation rate. Foreign matter. You need to know the parameters. How about the potential? Where is the global market demand for the product? Who are the top buyers? Netherlands, Malaysia, Germany, Belgium. Who are the top buyers? And what's the volume of demand for the product? The potential. How about the purchasers? Knowing the business that buy. We've talked about this already in the previous section. Packaging. How do you package this product for the export market? You use jute bags. Usually 60 to 65 kg bags. Should be sealed. Very dry. Quality control is critical. Paperwork. What are the documentation requirements? And in packaging this product, any product you are exporting that is commodity, typically you have to prepare the container. In preparing the container, we mean you are putting it in jute bag, but you are putting maybe pallet on the ground. And then on the wall of the container, you have, what's the name? Craft paper, brown paper, to line the wall of the container and the floor of the container and the back of the container before placing the goods, and then put inside the container desiccant to absorb moisture. Packaging is important to keep the product in optimal condition to the destination market. The paperwork, documentation. What are the documentation requirements? Remember, you need to know your product. Documentation requirement, the pre-export document, the post-export document, and more importantly, phytosanitary certificate. Many markets will require that from you. The pricing, what are the cost elements involved in arriving at final pricing? And by the way, what can go wrong? What are the pitfalls? Mold contamination, what can go wrong? Irregular fermentation, what can go wrong? Contamination with chemical, what can go wrong? And how do you prevent it? We'll go on a short break. When we return, we go into the other part of this program, and that will involve talking about potential markets, how to promote in the market, the barrier, that's the partition in entering the market, and then we round up with pitfall in entering the market.
Ready to take your food brand global? Meet the Processed Foods Export Atlas, your complete export playbook, practical, step-by-step, and built for real-world results. Explore clear guidance for 30 high-demand processed foods, and the list include spices, roasted peanut, roasted cashew nuts, honey, soup and broth, sauce, seasoning, dried fruits, dried vegetables, chin-chin, plantain flour, packaged jollof rice, packaged fried rice, and lots more. Grow smarter, export faster, and scale with confidence. Get the Processed Foods Export Atlas today and turn your products into global bestsellers.
To order for the manual, place your order at 40,000 Naira. Delivery would be made to anywhere in Nigeria. Call or chat 080912 345 673 080912 345 673. Place your order now.
This product will help you to know your product. That's the export product atlas.
Ready to...
At 3T Impex, we believe every aspiring exporter deserves a clear pathway to international success.
That's why we created the Export Mentoring Program, from Export Novice to Export Legend.
This is a 6-month hands-on mentoring program designed to take you from beginner to global exporter.
Every participant is guaranteed direct contact with 5 active international buyers.
You receive step-by-step handholding, from product selection and branding to documentation, logistics, and payments.
Most of our participants begin their first export transaction within 3 to 6 months.
And when you complete the program, you continue to enjoy free advisory services.
The program costs 1,200,000 Naira
and runs virtually with participants from Nigeria and around the world. If you're ready to move from Export Novice to Export Legend, this program is for you.
All right. If you have questions, please drop it in the chat and I will answer it as we go along. So let's go into the potential market. Global demand, 9.91. Now, even though last 2024 was 20 billion, the data of last year, we're waiting for it, but 2021 was 20 billion. Now, but where are the market? Who are the major buyers? Who are the major buyers of this product? Netherlands, Malaysia, Belgium, United States, France, Germany, Italy. You notice a lot of demand in Europe. You notice a lot of demand in Europe. Why? You know, Europe make more money from cocoa than Africa. Okay, so 2024, the total global demand is 20 billion. Now, out of that 20 billion, 75% of the export is from West Africa. But chocolate as a value chain is over 30 billion. Chocolate alone. And there's so many other value chains in this. so many other value chain. So the question is, if we have so many other value chain and chocolate alone is that much more than the commodity trading, who is making money really from cocoa trade? Out of the 9 billion, half of it is from Europe, 5.47 billion, Asia, 3.03 billion, North America, 1.24 billion, and South America, 117 million, Africa, 46 million. Of course, Africa is producing, so demand in Africa is low. And then Oceania, $10.4 million. So if I then want to promote, where should I focus my attention for promotion? What should be my focus in promoting? What should be my focus in promoting? What should be my focus in promoting? Selling cocoa beans in the international market requires strategic combination of market research, branding, relationship building, compliance with global standard, and effective communication. Because cocoa bean is a globally traded commodity, exporters must differentiate themselves through consistent quality, reliability, and strong market presence. Number one, participation in international trade fairs. Participation in international trade fair. One of the easy way to promote your product is to participate in international trade fair. To get to meet one-on-one. To get to meet one-on-one. The people involved in buying. This event allows exporters to showcase samples, negotiate contracts. So if you are going to be able to promote your cocoa, you are better off attending this kind of program. Negotiate contract, gain visibility. Trade fair also help exporters build credibility through face-to-face engagement. Number two, strong online presence. Strong online presence. It's important to have a website to showcase pictures of the product, the warehouse you are sourcing from. Pretty much have a narrative about the product on your website. That should be the professional website with detailed information and the quality specification, certification that you have, downloadable product sheet, video of farm practice, traceability, and the like. Register on business-to-business platform. Alibaba, TradeKey. Register on business-to-business platform and register as a paid member. Specify quality parameters, upload packaging image. Stand out. Exporters should maintain fast response time, clear product documentation, and competitive pricing. Build partnership with international commodity brokers. Cocoa brokers, agents operate in markets like Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Indonesia, and most of them you will get to meet them at those trade fairs. These professionals maintain long-standing relations with manufacturers. So if you're able to get one or two or three brokers and you're able to convince them and showcase what you are capable of doing, they can give you a chance. Brokers often handle negotiation, sampling, and documentation, making market entry a lot easier for new exporters. Have the right certification. Nowadays, people are asking for fair trade certificate, particularly in Europe, Rainforest Alliance, organic certification, sustainability-related compliance. I was at a conference last year and this issue came up. This year, it looked like Europe is going to take this very seriously. If you look at that list of buyers, maybe we have to focus our attention more on Eastern Europe and Asia and North America, because Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, France, Italy, Switzerland, we might have an issue with them this year. Because I'm not sure how many countries, how many business in Nigeria is ESG compliant. particularly for the value chain of cocoa. Display certificate. If you have certification, display it on your website. Produce high quality samples and professional documentation. Buyer almost always request samples. Exporter should also send well packaged sample. And please don't expect buyer to pay for sample. If they ask you for 500 gram, it's a lot of money because of the price of cocoa, but you just see it as cost of promotion. Cost of promotion. A professional sample pack accompanied with certificate of analysis. Cut test photo increase trust. Strong documentation indicate reliability. Develop direct relation with chocolate manufacturer. While many exporters sell through brokers, build relationship with the chocolate maker, especially small and medium beans to bar producer, can offer a better margin. Where do you meet them? You can easily meet them at some of those events I mentioned earlier. Direct relationship with manufacturers. These manufacturers prefer origin transparency, consistent quality, direct sourcing. Exporter can attract them by offering detailed farm stories, videos, flavor profile, samples. Bean to bar producer also value unique cocoa varieties, specialty fermentation, and consistent flavor note. What are the barriers? I call it partition. What are the barriers? What are the barriers that we need to work around to be able to overcome and enter this market? What are the barriers? They are called non-tariff barriers. They are called non-tariff barriers. Number one, strict quality and safety standard. Remember I said, know your product, know your product, know your product. That's why we created that export product atlas that I showed you the video a while ago. Know your product. Know the specification of the product. Countries in Europe, Asia, and America impose rigorous specification regarding moisture content, pesticide residue limit, mold level, heavy metal, fermentation quality. Failure to meet this standard often lead to rejection and, of course, shipment delay. So, good agricultural practice is very important. Training the farmers, very important. And for you as an exporter, pre-export lab test can help you know the moisture level, pesticide residue, or even aflatoxin. Using guarantee and traceability system to guarantee compliance and build market credibility. Sustainability, sustainability, sustainability. Sustainability and ethical certification requirement. That's what I was talking about the other time. This certification, few companies have it in Nigeria. Those are the serious cocoa exporters. Serious cocoa exporters who have been able to also ensure they trace the product right to the farm. Forming cooperatives or joining cooperative to share certification cost. Partnering with NGO, donor agency, or private company offering certification support. I know nepc did this a while ago. I don't know if they have planned for that this year. Implement internal control system that prepare farmers for certification audit and start with one certification. In fact, what some experts do is to partner with farmers, a group of farmers, to be able to ensure they help them with this certification. Like I said, when you are starting, maybe dealing with countries outside Europe who are very serious about this. Look at this. Traceability and documentation. Markets such as European Union have introduced traceability rule like the EU deforestation regulation. This is the major issue now. Demanding precise documentation on farm origin, production practice, and land use history. Develop farm mapping database using GPS coordinates. Keep accurate record from farm to warehouse. Ministry of Agric is working hard on this because they really need to provide some of this support and information for exporters. I'm very much aware a committee was set up for this in Nigeria, and they are working on this particular deforestation regulation of EU to ensure that it doesn't affect cocoa in Nigeria. Keep accurate record from farm to warehouse. Adopt digital stability platforms supported by Cocoa Association and NGO, and work with licensed buying agents who understand traceability requirements. Technical barrier and quality testing at import port. Importing countries often conduct additional laboratory tests and physical inspection. Delay at destination port can lead to demurrage and rejection of shipment. How to overcome this? Perform pre-shipment inspection with recognized bodies like SGS, Cotecna, Biri Veritas. Share complete technical data sheet with buyers before shipping using airtight pest-proof storage and fumigation to maintain quality. Packaging and labeling requirements. Incorrect packaging, labeling, documentation is a common reason for rejection. Market specify bags, typically jute bag, weight, label format, and fumigation certificate. So it's important to follow the international packaging standard using jute bag, proper stitching, using export quality pallet, liners, and dunnage for container safety. You ensure clear labeling with batch number, origin, moisture level, and exporter's detail, depending on the requirement of the destination market. Depending on the requirement of the destination market. Complex export paperwork and bureaucracy. You can work around this. One of the things we do for our client is to help you navigate some of these documentation issues. Before we round off today on finding buyer for cocoa beans, let's talk about the pitfalls. What can go wrong? Strong pitfalls. What can go wrong? Strong promotion is essential for attracting serious cocoa buyers. However, many exporter promotional efforts fail because of avoidable error. So what are the mistakes we need to avoid in finding buyer for cocoa? Weak or non-existent online presence. How do you approach a buyer abroad and they can't find your company online? You approach a buyer abroad, they did a Google search, they can't find your company online. Someone said, I require contact number of SGS. Do a Google search. Search for them. I used to have one, Elwin, you can chat me. I will see. I used to have one. I work more with Biri Veritas now, but I think, chat me, please. Weak and non-existent online presence. Many experts rely on WhatsApp, small Facebook page, low quality website. Buyer searching online cannot find reliable information about your business. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't. Please don't do that. Please. Build a professional website with clear product specification, photo and company detail. Maintain active LinkedIn company profile. LinkedIn is a fantastic place for business. Even though I recommend Instagram and Facebook, but LinkedIn is it's important to have a page on LinkedIn because some of the professionals you're going to be dealing with are also on LinkedIn. I'm talking about the procurement managers and some of the professionals in those countries, in those companies. Regular content about your product should also be posted online. Online presence is so important. Poor brand and unprofessional messaging, unclear brand identity, inconsistent logo, poorly written email, bad grammar, low quality images create a negative first impression. In the era of AI, please, AI can help you draft your email very well. This should not be an issue in the email. Create a clean, consistent brand image. Use professional photo, videos, any picture you are going to be attaching online on your website. Please take professional pictures, professional photos. Profit email and use formal template for offers, quotation, and inquiry. If you are sending a mail to a buyer for the first time, please go and Google full corporate offer. Full corporate offer. Full corporate offer. Basically provide summary of what you are offering as a seller so that the buyer can respond to let you know if this is good enough for them. Ineffective product presentation. Presenting cocoa beans without proper quality details. Beans count, moisture, fermentation. Make buyer assume the product is low quality. So include detail of product specification sheet. Show clear quality indicator. Cut test, photo, moisture test. Provide certificate of analysis. Let's be sure of the quality of the product that you are trying to promote. Poor sample presentation and delivery. So you are sending sample to buyer abroad. You are sending sample to buyer abroad. Good evening. How do new exporters have handled the challenge of prospective buyer always asking for export track record? Most disengage negotiation once they discover that you have not exported before, even when you are proven you have hand-on knowledge of the whole process. This is a very important question you are asking. Very, very important question you are asking. One of the ways some people bypass this is to partner with existing exporter and leverage on that relationship. So they present themselves as a company with partners that have competence to handle. And then they use the history of that partner, the person they're partnering with, to engage. So that means they can now provide evidence of what has been done by this partner, even though it's not in their company name, but this partner have handled that before. I'm just trying to suggest how some people have been able to bypass this concern you have. Now, one of the other way to bypass this concern is if you have a good website and you have, because if you are talking to, which is why it's good you are talking to 3, 4, 5, 6 buyers, you need to talk to one person and present a front that shows you know what you are doing. I've talked about knowing the product, having a good website, getting sample across with certificate of analysis. If you send sample to them with certificate of analysis of what you are going to be shipping and the quality is good, you stand a chance. So this might not work for everybody, which is why I said I would recommend you talk to 2, 3, 4, 5 people so that there are some that will give a chance. You just need to demonstrate. If they ask you about the Incoterm, you need to know what Incoterm is. If they're talking about letter of credit, you need to know. You need to demonstrate that you have some basic knowledge, because if in the course of conversation they realize that you don't have, because that's exactly what they're trying to avoid. But if you're able to demonstrate that, I'm sure, even though it might not be all of them, but a few might be able to give you a trial. I don't know if I answered Bright's question. Poor sampling delivery. So if you are sending sample, you can't be sending dirty sample in an unsealed bag without label. It must be an airtight, clean, well-labeled sample pack, including certificate of analysis, farm information, or harvest detail, particular certificate of analysis, and use a safe courier service that will deliver the product. Targeting the wrong buyers. Okay, Bright. Targeting the wrong buyer. Exporters often promote buyers who do not purchase raw cocoa. If you are talking to people who are not buying the product, then of course they will ignore you, because what you don't want to be doing is to talk to the wrong person. Focus on cocoa processors. I've told you how to get contact of cocoa processors. Chocolate manufacturers, brokers, commodity traders, beans to bar market makers. Segment buyers by region or purchasing capacity. Use buyer directory, B2B platform, and trade fairs strategically. Poor follow-up and slow communication. Exporters lose buyers because they fail to follow up after inquiry. Respond slowly or providing complete information. How do you mitigate this? Respond to inquiry within 12 to 24 hours. If you are trying to get buyers and the buyer is in Asia, if in Europe, you're fine. The time difference is not much. But if it's in Asia, where you have 5, 6, 7, 8 hours difference, you might have to wake up 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to respond to messages, to respond to mail. Because look, as they are responding to you, they are responding to other people. If they respond to you, most likely they are talking to other people on the same issue. Maintain a tracking system for leads. Follow up professionally after sending quote and samples or specification. In fact, in your full corporate offer, offer to send samples, offer to send sample with lab analysis. In your full corporate offer, offer to send samples. In your full corporate offer, I'm emphasizing this. In your full corporate offer, in your full corporate offer, offer to send sample and lab analysis. Why is this important? Some people making that kind of request or asking them you want to send that might be a reason why they will even give you a chance. In your full corporate offer, indicate that you are available to send lab analysis and sample to them upon request, so they can get to see what the quality of the product look like that they expect from you, and the lab analysis in the full corporate offer. In the full corporate offer. Very important. No participation in trade fair and industry event. How do you intend to get buyer if you don't have that? No participation. No participation. No participation in trade fair and industry event. Relying on online promotion limit feasibility. Exporter who ignore trade fair and miss opportunity for face-to-face engagement. Exporter who ignore trade fair, miss opportunity for face-to-face engagement. Attend cocoa focus event like the one in Netherlands or France. Participate in ITC seller buyer mission or NEPC seller buyer mission. Display samples and presentation during exhibition. Unrealistic and non-competitive pricing in promotion. Some exporters list inflated prices and unstable prices. Other quote extreme discount that suggests poor quality or inexperience. How do you mitigate this? Monitor global cocoa futures to understand price movement. Offer competitive, transparent pricing with justification. Lack of trust building information. Lack of trust building information. Very important. Lack of trust building information. Promotion without proof of capacity. Certification, evidence of previous shipment make buyers skeptical. Even if you don't have evidence of previous shipment, but you have certification, you have sample, show evidence the product is available, some will give you a chance. Display certification, show off photos, videos, warehouses, present reference or shipment evidence. Over-reliance on one promotional method. Some exporters depend only on B2B. Only on B2B. On social media, this limits reach and reduces chance of connecting with serious buyers. Use a balanced multi-channel strategy. Website SEO, LinkedIn outreach, B2B platform, trade fairs, email marketing. Not understanding buyer requirement before promotion. Sending generalized promotional message without tailoring it to specific buyer segment that the buyer segment wants. Study buyer requirement for each region, tailor promotional messages, and then I like key benefit specific to each audience. Specific to each audience. In summary, failing to provide common promotional mistake again, failing to provide third-party certification, ignoring sustainability compliance, demanding cash in advance, inconsistent poor quality samples, failing maximum residue level. Treating all cocoa as generic bulk because they are different grades. Only quoting FOB. Using dirty and non-compliant bags. If you know the destination you are shipping to, you can quote CFR or CIF to that destination. Failing to provide such certification, buyer immediately suspect the quality will not proceed. So quality analysis help. Ignoring sustainability compliance, exclude extra from all premium European market. And that's why investing in traceability become important. Demanding cash in advance, of course, this destroys trust. Most buyers want to do open account, and some will give you a letter of credit. Inconsistent or poor quality samples. Buyers assume the bulk shipment will be of lower quality. Sample control ensures small air-freighted samples are drawn from exact certified batch intended for shipment. Maximum residue level leads to outright rejection. So preventable lab testing can help to identify this. Treating alcohol as generic prevent exporters from accessing the high margin specialty market. Promote cocoa unique flavor and specific Nigerian region to attract chocolate maker. Only quoting FOB limit appeal to foreign buyers who want easy cost comparison. So it's CFR and CIF if you know their destination, but you have to mention the name of the port that you are shipping to in their country to be able to give them the best price. Using dirty or non-compliance bag, risk of contamination. Use only new certified carbon-free jute bag. Lack of professional digital presence. Maintain a professional website with clear contact detail and technical specification. You can drop your question for answers while we go on a short break as we round off.
At 3T Impex, we believe every aspiring exporter deserves a clear pathway to international success.
That's why we created the Export Mentoring Program, from Export Novice to Export Legend.
This is a 6-month, hands-on mentoring program designed to take you from beginner to global exporter.
Every participant is guaranteed direct contact with 5 active international buyers.
You receive step-by-step handholding, from product selection and branding to documentation, logistics, and payments.
Most of our participants begin their first export transaction within 3 to 6 months.
And when you complete the program, you continue to enjoy free advisory services.
The program cost 1,200,000 naira
and runs virtually with participants from Nigeria and around the world. If you're ready to move from Export Novice to Export Legend, this program is for you.
All right. This video will be available on our YouTube channel, Voice of African Trade and Global Trade Tutor. Subscribe, like, share, and drop your comment. Next week, we are going to be discussing raw cashew nut. Raw cashew nut season is starting very, very soon. Is global sources the same as global buyer? No, it's not. It's not. Hello. Can party use ATA kernel to avoid tariff? It depends on the market. It depends on the market. You know, it depends on the market. It depends on the market. And it depends on, for samples, you really are not supposed to pay tariff on samples. Are they asking for tariff for sample? Discuss with the, I would rather you discuss with the, what's the name? With, what do you call it now? Courier company. Maybe UPS, DHL, and the like. So next week we are discussing raw cashew nut. Cashew season starts in February, so it's a fantastic time to discuss raw cashew nut. Cocoa season is already on, so it's a fantastic time to discuss this right now. And next week also, we'll be discussing raw cashew nut. I mentioned that already. If you want to get the link to join this program every week, visit our Telegram channel or our WhatsApp channel. We have a radio program every week, 6:30 p.m. on Nigeria Info. It hosts tomorrow. We didn't have it last week because of football, but we'll definitely resume back tomorrow. You can join us on Nigeria Info 993 FM by 6:30 p.m. and it is powered by Zenith Bank. So you can drop a question as a round-up if you have any question, please. Thank you.
I am looking for information on how to export chin-chin and plantain chips.
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
Okay. How about information on the quality requirements of palm oil for export?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
All right. What of information on how to do my pricing and costing for honey and tea export?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
What if I want information on how to find buyers abroad for poundo yam?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
How can I get information on how to export beans flour and prevent spoilage?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
What if I need information on how to prevent quality issues in plantain flour and yam flour export?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
How do I know the documentation requirements for the export of dried fruit and vegetables?
Processed Foods Export Atlas.
So, are you telling me that this one book contains all these information about exporting different processed foods?
Yes, it is your ultimate guide to successfully export 30 processed foods. It is not just a book, it is an atlas that provides comprehensive processed foods information in colorful charts and pictures. It is easy to read, saves you time, conserves your energy, and it's pocket-friendly.
The Processed Foods Export Atlas is the most important book you will ever read for successful export business. It is a one-stop shop for all the information required to export a particular product.
So, either as an intending or current exporter, food processor, or banker funding export business, this is a must-have for all and sundry in the sector.
Order for the manuals is currently ongoing at a discount. Place your order at the cost of 40,000 Naira. Delivery will be done to anywhere in Nigeria at no extra cost. For more inquiry, call 0809 1234 5673. Processed Foods Export Atlas, your ultimate guide to successfully export 30 processed foods.
I'm awaiting your
Congratulations,
message.
your search for buyers abroad is over. Through the help of the Eureka Pack. The Eureka Pack helps you do 7 things in order to get buyers abroad. It shows you how to 1. Get prepared to get buyers abroad. 2. Get the online tools to deploy to get buyers abroad. 3. Get list of markets with demands for your products. 4. Get the list of importers in that market. 5. Get the contacts of importers in that market. 6. Get the export contracts from the contact details of the importers. 7. Get favorable export contract terms. The Eureka Pack shows you how to enter the billion-dollar markets available for your products across the world at a very discounted rate of 60,000 Naira. The valuable materials that you get upon purchase include 2 manuals and 27 videos explaining and demonstrating how to use the manuals to find buyers abroad. We know you are elated already and interested in ordering for the Eureka Pack right away. Place your order via a WhatsApp chat to 0809 999 3142 or email to info@3timpex.com. You can get this pack for just 60,000 Naira. Grab your copy now.
At 3T Impex, we believe every aspiring exporter deserves a clear pathway to international success.
That's why we created the Export Mentoring Program, from Export Novice to Export Legend.
This is a 6-month hands-on mentoring program designed to take you from beginner to global exporter.
Every participant is guaranteed direct contact with 5 active international buyers.
You receive step-by-step handholding, from product selection and branding to documentation, logistics, and payments.
Most of our participants begin their first export transaction within 3 to 6 months.
And when you complete the program, you continue to enjoy free advisory services.
The program cost 1,200,000 Naira
and runs virtually with participants from Nigeria and around the world. If you're ready to move from Export Novice to Export Legend, this program is for you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Week ahead, rather. Bye-bye.